Ian, I don't know if I heard from you. Are you alive?
Yeah, I said I was ready.
Just oh, okay. I didn't hear you a few seconds ago. That's good. You sound tired. You
Yeah,
okay, bro?
he's not ready.
I sound what?
You sound kind of tired. A little out of it.
I'm definitely a little tired and perhaps a little out of it.
Okay.
Alright, well, feel better.
Definitely
Well-
a little tired of being out of it.
That's rough, buddy.
That is very true, Kelsey. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. Anyways, yes, I'm ready to begin if all of you are. In which case, I will... Oh, shit, let me send you your...
Title card.
title card.
And it's a hand.
It's not a hand, actually. It's two. Technically, it's two hands and part of a body.
Uh-oh.
I like how you're like, let me just try to make the most difficult thing I can for these title cards.
It's always your title cards. Both of your solo session title cards have been a hand holding or doing something. But thankfully, I have the internet for reference, or my own hands, such as the last one.
Ah, yes, the Blackbriar paradox, the Witcher.
The Witcher.
Fuck. Yeah, the Watcher just stands there with his helmet off. He just looks at all of you guys, just says, "Fuck." The Witcher. We need to find Yennefer. Oh man. I guess I'll also send you this picture, which is what that picture is based off of. Just so you have a full overview of the figure that stands before you, because we are picking up, I mean, just immediately where we left off last week. After, of course, I read you the
Intro.
introduction. Yes. So.
I was gonna say synopsis, but that's the opposite.
Yeah, last week was nothing short of a doozy.
Definitely wasn't short.
No, it was not. Last session, I should say. So basically, last night for you guys in character. You guys picked up where you left off the previous session, arriving at the Drunken Owl just before sundown. After a good conversation with Rhiannon, Rin, you collected your gear and you all headed for the shop of Dr. Archibald Cronum, aka Dr. Clockwork. I'm not going to say it. Arriving to find that, well, he wasn't there, nor were any of his papers/notes that you, Rin, had seen during your last visit. It was clear that there had been a struggle and that highly specific items had been taken from the shop, everything pertaining to, well, you can guess. After a brief investigation, it was discovered that someone was still in the back office, but they unfortunately managed to escape in the time that it took Thogak to run around the building. Additionally, the piece of petrified wood that was held up to your forehead not a day prior, Rin, was discovered in the same drawer that the doc had placed it in during your last visit. The only change being that, this time, it was glowing quite brightly. Each of you that held it felt a familiar energy, a sort of resonating hum, along with a slight ringing noise in your head. Thogak, you moved it closer and closer to Kazara, who, you eventually touched it to his chest, causing it to just explode, really, nothing big. After this, Rin and Thogak, you collected quite a few books into an old potato sack, and your party left the premises, exiting onto an eerily empty night street. Empty, save for one figure, who stood menacingly in front of the boarding house that served as a home to several of your kids, Kaz, including your favorite, Skiz. After confronting him, it became clear rather quickly that he was trying to force your hand to attack him, so that he wasn't the one that struck first. The Watcher appeared, attempting in a quick, stealthy fashion to kill Stone in your stead, but to no avail. After several attempts to bring his archers down, unfortunately only causing 2 archers to miss their arrows, a lone archer fired a lone arrow into Skiz's room, starting the building ablaze. Together, with the help of the Watcher, your party was able to get all but one child out of the building alive, and, of course, there was one death that had yet to occur. Kaz, you leant over Skiz as he took his final breaths, before, unfortunately, passing away. As the building collapsed into itself, into kind of this fiery blaze in the distance, you and your party walked with the remaining children to the slums, where you located places for everyone to stay for that night. Thogak, you saw yourself to sleep quite quickly. Rin, you stayed up studying the findings in the books in the potato sack. And Kaz, you carried Skiz's body to Draxan, who arranged for him a pyre. After an emotional service, you stayed overnight at the pyre with Draxan by your side. In the morning, he took his leave, leaving you alone. Thogak and Rin, you awoke to a knock at your door and a request from Jaxan to meet him in the hall. The throne room, sorry. After observing your burns, Thogak, that now run up your right arm, if I recall, or was it your left arm?
My right arm, yeah.
Okay, yeah. They don't hurt and they don't impede your ability, but you definitely have burn scars kind of running up to about halfway up your forearm. The two of you left.
I said they looked hot.
That's right. You did say they looked hot. Yeah. The two of you left to head to the throne hall, seeing Kaz knelt by the burnt pyre on your way. Once they arrived, Kaz, a messenger, was sent to retrieve you, and you made your way into the throne hall, where you found Jaxan, Rin, Thogak, and Rhiannon. After consoling you briefly and stating that all of you needed to talk about a few things, Jaxan took his leave. Rin and Thogak, you pulled tables, for some reason, into the middle of the room, while Rhiannon waited for all of you to get settled, after which she sort of looked all of you up and down, starting with you, Rin, moving to you, Thogak, then to Kaz, before letting her eyes fall on something that stood behind all of you. Turning to see what it was, all of you saw the Watcher, leaning against Jaxan's throne, holding his helmet in his hands. Before you sat a figure which only one of you officially recognized as the elf rogue Tarathiel, and even then, it had been 8 years since you last saw him. He sat studying his helmet before saying, "Well, I'll be the first to admit, this is not how I thought this week was going to go." And that is exactly where we are going to pick right back up.
Cast Distant Whispers. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Just going to be like pointing at him like, "Ah! You! I should have known!"
Yes.
He should have known!
Hello, Thogak. It's
Hi!
It's
Been a
quite some
while.
time.
Yes, yes. An owl? Did you choose that after the bird who dropped a stick on my head?
No, although that is pretty funny in hindsight. It's a long story.
Slash lands on my shoulder.
He's looking at Slash like with a raised eyebrow.
Slash looks at his helmet, and then his head, and then his helmet, and then his head, and then cocks his head like 90 degrees to the right.
So, Tarathiel, I have to ask, have you found it?
It?
Well, last we talked, something about finding a purpose.
Oh. Your memory's better than mine, it seems.
Well, of course, I remember my family.
He smiles. He looks very... His heart seems warmed by you saying that. And he's holding his helmet in his hands, and he kind of looks at it, and he sets it on one of the tables, and he says, I think I might have, Thogak.
Well, good. Good. So, I think it's about time we got to business then.
I would have to agree.
Kaz,
Oh, thank you for...
Oh, yeah, you say. You go. You go.
Oh, well, thank you for your efforts. And successful as they were. It was very nicely done.
I wish I could have done more.
You did more than enough. Don't beat yourself up over it. Now, as the big man said, let's get down to business.
To defeat the Huns. Okay, sorry.
I resisted this whole time.
Well, I'm proud of you, Mark. So Tarathiel kind of, looks back at you, Thogak, and he says, so I take it you found Evelyn.
Nope, not quite, not yet.
The first time.
Oh, well, yes, but I'm searching again.
Yes. Well, actually, that's why I wanted to talk to you. To all of you. Thogak, I've got something I need to show you.
All right.
And he kind of looks at Rhiannon, and she's like, "Oh yeah," and she kind of walks over to one of the doors in Draxan's throne hall, and I guess. Okay, so Kaz, you would have seen her wearing this ring beforehand, right?
Okay.
Just a wooden ring that she always has on her index finger. And it's got like 4 symbols on it, okay? So each kind of in like a cardinal direction. She's just wearing this ring on her index finger. She walks over to a door. You do see her grab it, and Rin, you see this. Thogak, you'd probably see it too. She's not trying to hide it or anything. She grabs the ring and twists it on her finger to where one of the symbols is on the top of her index finger. And she walks to that back door, Kaz, the same door that led into the back room where you and Draxan had your talk the previous day. And she goes to that door, she twists the ring, and she grabs the knob and opens it. And it does not appear to be the same room. And she's kind of standing by the door as if she wants you guys to walk through it. Tarathiel walks past her and walks into the room and is standing there like he's waiting for you to come in.
I kind of like...
Am I supposed to go in? I'm still not good at this.
Yes, Thogak.
Okay. I walk in.
And... Right. Secret entrance. And I walk in as well.
But breakfast. All right.
Breakfast go late.
I'll go.
Rhiannon's looking at you like, bitch, really? Like, she's giving you a look like, step through the fucking door.
All right. I'm a coming. And I go.
Okay. So you step into a room, which actually looks like a small brewery. And once you step into the room, all of you, Rhiannon steps in and shuts the door behind you, and as you step through into this room, you actually do hear a similar camaraderie on the other side of another door that's in this room. And probably judging by the walls and just the general architecture, the smells even, you're definitely at the Drunken Owl.
Breakfast.
Which
Yay.
one is it? Which one? Which one? I'm gonna look at the casks. And
What do you mean?
I'm gonna look back at Rhiannon. Where is it?
Are you okay? Is he okay?
Yes.
She looks at Tarathiel and he's like, gives a shrug. He's like, oh.
The homebrew. It's back here.
Oh.
It has to be.
Oh, you like my homebrew, do you? Okay. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's yours?
Yes, I brew it. Some would
Yes.
call it my day job. And he kind of looks at you, Kaz.
Yeah. And I kind of like look around in amazement.
Yeah, and you
So-
think about it, and this is the one member of the Drunken Owl who you were never formally introduced to, and who seemed very elusive, is this kind of mysterious brewer that Rhiannon kept.
I kind of like, as I'm looking up and around, like double checking to make sure this is 100% the Drunken Owl.
Yeah.
I like kind of lock eyes on him and kind of uncross my arms and outstretch a hand.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Likewise, I'm Tarathiel, and he shakes your hand.
I'm sure you probably know me, but I'm Kazara.
I do.
I go by Kaz.
Yes. I wish
am
I
I-
met you earlier.
Am I able to get any of the homebrew?
Sure. Rhiannon ran in, kind of grabs a mug and pours you one. There's this like
Okay.
really large cask against the wall. Fuck it, it's a big ass barrel. And she pours you some and gives it to you.
Now, I walk up beside Tarathiel and just put my arm around him and take his drink. Just standing there. Probably a little awkward. Because how short.
Yeah, it's just like when like a larger family member takes a photo with like a child, one of their children. You know, they stand up, but they've got their arm down. Yeah. Tarathiel's about 5'11", so
Okay.
yeah, he's just on over half your height, I think. So yeah, you have to stoop a little to get your hand on his back. Otherwise, it's just kind of on the back of his head. But oh no, that's not right. Yeah, yeah. So he is just kind of looking at you, and he says, "I'm glad you like my ale, but that's not what I wanted to show you." Rhiannon, if you could. And she walks over to one of the back walls. There's kind of a barrel up against the wall, and there's kind of like these like support beams on either side of it, right? And she walks over, and Tarathiel walks over to the one opposite, and they both pull on them at the same time, and they're hidden levers there, and basically this kind of like cranking noise sounds, and the door to to this barrel that's kind of laid on its side just kind of like opens, and there's a set of stairs that lead down into some sort of cellar kind of. No, it's not time.
Right.
Secret
More
magic doors,
serious. Yes, more serious stuff. I'm gonna set this down.
Maybe
And I
wise.
set down the drink.
Please, after you.
Me? I walk and have to stoop and
Yeah, you definitely have to stoop.
awkwardly like shuffling down.
I
the
imagine a
stairs.
kid like climbing up a slide at a playground. Or like trying not to slide down a slide, like trying to crawl down instead. And it's like Thogak going down a secret like tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a secret tunnel.
Like
yeah.
a secret tunnel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Through the owl.
Through the owl. But yeah, there's a kind of a brief hallway at the base, and then a doorway at the end. Do all of you go down?
Nah,
Yeah.
probably not.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tarathiel
Yeah, I
goes in
definitely go down.
after Thogak, and Rhiannon is waiting to supposedly, or what you would probably imagine, to close the entrance behind you guys once everyone's in, so that they don't just leave the secret tunnel open.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of you going?
Okay. I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Thogak, you go in, followed by Tarathiel. Ren, you follow behind Tarathiel. Then you, Kaz, and then Rhiannon steps in behind you and pulls the door shut. As you're walking, kind of, you're definitely stooping because this is a pretty narrow corridor for a normal-sized person. Tarathiel kind of. You guys get to the end of the hallway, and he just says, excuse me, I really should come in first. Let me just. He's like trying to scoot by you, and he does.
There you
Yeah.
go.
He's like, right. Are you eating more, or just?
Always.
Okay, you just seem big. Anyway, before I open this door, I just need you to know that I need you to understand that and this is going to sound strange, I had to make sure you were you.
I raise an eyebrow.
Magic. I see. Yes.
It's a mighty coincidence you guys showing up on the same day as each other on the specific day that you all found yourself in this narrative. So
Oh no, I'm curious. Open the damn door.
just, and he looks at you, Thorak, specifically, and he says, just don't be angry. And he
Right.
opens the door very
This is a little
slowly.
uncomfortable.
Just and in this room, it is a more sizable room, enough for you to stand upright in. There are, as the door kind of opens, you can see along the walls, more barrels of ale, empty, long empty. It's probably a cellar at some point. A lot of support structures to keep the ceiling from falling in on the basement, since this is a basement built in a swamp, so terrible idea.
Oh yeah.
But
No Yazoo clay here, no.
apart from these kind of barrels and things lining the walls, there's a table in the middle of this room. And on it lies someone you know as Evelyn.
Just gonna, like... Is she dead?
She is laying there... Okay, does Thogak ask that, or are you asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. No, not yet. Here, come. And he steps into the room and stands by the table.
I walk up as well.
Same.
Careful not to touch any thing just in case.
Don't bump a support
No,
beam and kill all
definitely.
everyone. The drunken owl falls. Your party dies. Yeah. So yeah, you
A
approach
little
the table.
speechless right now.
Yeah. You approach the table, and Evelyn is lying on it. Kind of like Sleeping Beauty in a way. She is completely still. Her eyes are closed. But the longer you observe her, the more it becomes apparent that she is breathing, and she is alive. However, she appears as if she is, like, heavily sedated. Her breathing is very slow.
So, what's wrong with her?
Is it magic?
I'll tell you the truth, I'm not quite sure. Well, let's start at the beginning, I guess.
That's usually the best place to start, I find.
Yeah, I think so, generally. So, about a week ago, not 4 days before you arrived, I overheard a conversation while I was tailing a guilder. He was asking about an Azamar that a few of his friends had died trying to retrieve for some secret project that Stone was cooking up. I queried some of
That's
my
the-
informants. Yeah?
That's the Thieves Guild guy.
Yes, the one that and he looks at you, Kaz, and he doesn't finish that thought. He kind of trails off, and he says,
That one, yes.
I excuse me, Lord. I queried some of my informants, and none of them knew anything. The ones that did wouldn't tell me at first. Eventually, I got the name of the tavern that they smuggled her into the city and through a place called the Split Keg. From there, I followed a trail that led me to the secret prison where they were keeping her. They'd been keeping her there for at least a month. When I found her, she was barely conscious, like her energy had been drained from her body. I broke her out, but only by the skin of my teeth. We were attacked by something. All I remember is fire, a shadowy figure shooting it. He looks at you, Kaz, and he says, honestly, I thought it was you at first, but I realized you'd never work with the guild like that, so
Certainly not me.
I got her back to the owl, called the doc to look at her, make sure she was stable. That was the same day you arrived, the morning of that I broke her out. She's been asleep ever since. She does appear to be stable, but she won't wake up for some reason.
want to ask our resident sorcerer here. He's probably the best bet we've got. Or whoever casted, conjured that magical doorway. Right.
Oh, that's a simple trick. The doc actually made those for me.
The duck.
He lifts his head. Doc.
The duck.
Ah, yes. So this guy's an owl. There's a duck.
Dr. Cuckwork. Sorry. Yeah. So he raises his hand and he's got a ring like Rhiannon. I'm not exactly welcome in this city since I came back, so it makes it a little easier to sneak around.
That makes 1, 2, 3, 5 of us. 4 of us? 4.
I'd wager my...
Slash hoots.
5.
He's right, it's fine.
I was right.
I'd wager that my situation is a little different. Actually, it's the reason for all of this relative nonsense. And he kind of like, points at his outfit and the helmet.
Do go on.
Well, you see, I grew up in this city. It wasn't my first home, but it was my longest home by far.
You poor man.
I grew up in the Thieves Guild, actually.
You poor man.
It was much different back then, actually. Believe it or not, Ed Stone was once a peer of mine. He never really liked me, though. He never really liked anyone, now that I think about it. Anyway,
No, that's up, yeah.
no, it really wasn't that bad back then, actually. The Thieves Guild wasn't in charge back then. Not to say that the people that ran the city were any better, but I'm sure you know all about that, Kaz.
Absolutely.
Long story short, a brief power struggle happened. God, I guess it's been 16 years by now. It's been a good time since I left, but a fight ensued. My mentor, probably the closest anyone's ever come to being a father of mine, died in the process. So, in my youthful idiocy, I decided to, I robbed the Thieves Guild of everything they had. And kind of like looks at the ground.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Also, I have to ask, what... Oh, you definitely don't look old enough to be Stone's peer. I don't know, humans don't live that long, do they?
You can see that he has elvish ears. Not half elvish ears, but elvish ears, which is interesting.
Oh, okay.
Because he also does have a pretty hefty stubble, which is entirely uncharacteristic for an elf.
So I kind of like gesture lengthwise on my ear, like, I see, but and like I start like rubbing my chin.
That's because he's a good elf.
I wouldn't put it like that, Thogak. That's kind of mean. He's like scratches his neck a little bit, which draws your attention to a massive fucking gash that he has there. I need not explain. But I wanted to describe it before I forgot, because I always forget about that with this character. So yeah.
Yikes.
But yeah, he's just. It's kind of complicated. I'm an elf.
Okay, that's
But
good enough for me.
yeah. So a long time ago, I kind of stole everything from Ed Stone, so I had to flee the city for a while. But I eventually, and he kind of flicks his eyes at you, Thogak, and he kind of looks back down at Evelyn for a second. He says, I eventually made my way back to look after the people that I left behind, the people that I love. And he looks towards Rhiannon, actually, who's kind of stepping into the room at this point. So, needless to say, I didn't really want to show my face around here after that, so I concocted a different identity to live by during the day, and I created this. And he holds up the Watcher helmet and says, to hide my exploits at night.
Right.
Well, you don't get more watchful than an owl at night.
I suppose not. So, I figured it'd be nice for you to know that Evelyn is safe for the time being.
Better
But-
safe than someone could be lying half dead on a table.
Yeah.
But
Actually-
the Thieves Guild did something to her.
Yes, and that is what we need to figure out.
Where does Dr. Clockwork come into all this besides making your fancy gizmo?
How so?
Well, we went to go visit his shop and it's been ransacked and he's nowhere to be found. So
Well-
I figure it's probably something that has to do with where the
Yeah.
fuck you been up to.
Yeah, and there's this stone, and it sang, and then it blew up.
Saying was the word for it, yeah.
He's looking at you, just so confused. And he kind of like looks back at you, Rin, like, actually, I'm afraid the reason they took Ed Stone is because of your visit after all of you guys got into your escapades that night. The next day they systematically retraced all of your steps the previous day, and it seems that they took the Doctor Clockwork the Doctor hostage is what I meant to say. They took the Doctor hostage
Not
because
a good doctor.
whatever you two talked about the previous day. But yes, I fear that somehow this, and he points at Evelyn, has something to do with whatever the guild has been planning. So, I'd say that loosely, it's up to us to figure out what it is and put a stop to it.
As long as it means fighting back against the Thieves Guild, that's fine by me.
It does.
Alright.
Right, so, if you'll follow me. And he kind of goes to exit this room again.
Lead on.
I wait to be the last one,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
close to at least.
Yeah. He goes first, and Rhiannon follows him. Kaz, you notice that she's not making eye contact with you. Perhaps as you pass her, if she's waiting at the door, she kind of like looks away.
I just kind of... I don't take too much notice of it. I just kind of nod as I pass, and I do internalize it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Most certainly.
Yeah.
And as I walk by her, I'm just kind of mumbling myself. Well, actually, I'm kind of like mumbling the slash on my shoulder. I'm like, why is it always fighting? Why always gonna be like fight? I don't want to fight.
You're falling in with the wrong crowd, bud.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Thugok, you're the last one in the room. Are
I'm
you
going
just...
to,
yeah. Okay.
before I head back up, I'm gonna just take a long look at Evelyn.
Mm-hmm. She
Just
looks
place a hand on her forehead,
pretty peaceful, actually.
and then I'm gonna head out.
Okay. Yeah, so you head out, shut the door behind you. thankfully you've got the hallway to yourself just about. So you kind of scoot your way down the hallway, back up the stairs.
I am. By the time I get up to the top, I'm just kind of stewing in silent anger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Apparent anger?
It's Thogak's not good at hiding emotions,
Yeah.
so
I don't think
furrowed
there's
brow
anything
just kind of.
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah, so you guys get back up to the cellar room. And yeah, so Tarathiel kind of whispers something to Rhiannon, and she nods and kind of nods at all of you guys, and kind of very quickly, kind of that very awkward kind, Kaz, for you, she just kind of like, really quickly nods, doesn't really look at you, and kind of steps back into the main room of the alley. You see as she opens the door, this is the door that she's disappearing into when she goes behind the bar to get the homebrew, so you kind of briefly catch a glimpse of the tavern as she steps through this door. Tarathiel says, "Right, on with it, I guess." And he walks up to the door, he twists his ring to where a different symbol is on the top of it, and he swings open this door. And you see something that catches you very much so off guard. So I want you to imagine a room that's laid out loosely like a plus shape, okay?
Okay.
Basically, you open this door and you're looking immediately out of another pair of doors on the other end. And there's light coming from your right and left, so you can tell that there's probably another set of doors on the right and left. And you just see birds flying by these windows, and it's the kind of the sound of whipping wind. You kind of get hit by a good breeze as he opens this door, and he just is standing there like, after you.
and I just shoulder my way in. Not like bumping her in or
Yeah.
anything, but just like.
Yeah.
Quite the spectacle, though a bit noisy, must admit.
You get used to it. It's the only place in the city we can get privacy. Do all of you step through?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you step through, and the further you walk into this room, you can kind of see out of these doors. You realize that you are definitely in that watchtower that looms over the city, all the way at the top. So you kind of, the further you walk in, you catch a glimpse of the city below you, kind of sprawling outwards in one direction, and the river, and you can kind of see down into the just kind of peek over the wall into the government sector a little bit from one of the doors. And apart from that, in this room, there's a table in the middle with papers and maps kind of weighted down with various things on them. There's a bunch of stuff, very similar stuff like that, building plans. This looks very much so like an HQ.
These sorts of sorceries always gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Oh well, it's very useful when you can't go outside.
We're really high.
Oh yes. Well, a watcher needs a watchtower, so.
I'm just going to be trying to get a bird's eye view of the town.
Mm-hmm. And you definitely get one. This is the place. So basically, each of these, if you actually look at that picture of Blackbriar, basically, yeah, that's it. It's kind of a plus-shaped room, and at each of the tops of the plus, or each of the ends, I guess, is a balcony, a door that leads out to a balcony. He shuts the door that you guys come in through behind him, and as you kind of come in, he kind of goes around and shuts every door but one. So he shuts the door you guys came in through, and he shuts the one looking to the north, and the one looking to the east over the government sector. So there's only one door open, looking south, kind of over the southern portion of the city. If you stepped out onto the balcony, you could probably see more, but yeah, he kind of gets everyone in, shuts the doors, and then steps into the middle of the room and says, "Right. So I think it's abundantly clear that I need your help, all of your help. Um, it seemed like a bad thing at first. The doctor is a very close friend of mine, but it has become clear to me that his capture has provided us with a unique opportunity."
I'm listening very intently.
Mm-hmm. He's kind of scanning the room. So we need to break him out. But that is obviously what Stone wants us to do. So I say, let's do it. But not as a breakout, as a diversion. You see, from what I've gathered, they are keeping the dock at the Corvellian complex, and he kind of walks over to the one open door, and he points down at a building. Kaz, you know which building it is. There's a very large building, a good few blocks south of the watchtower. It stands out because it is quite a large complex of buildings, which looks way more official and well built than any building in the city that you've seen so far. And he points at that building when he says the Corvellian complex. Oh lord, I lost my place. Yeah, that building over there. They moved all of the high-profile prisoners there after I broke out Evelyn. So,
And how do you suggest we get into that?
well, that comes later. That's kind of where I need your help. Below that building is a vault, where I have it on good intel that Stone is keeping some sort of magical weapon, which no doubt has something to do with whatever he's been planning. It's probably what he used to render Evelyn so useless. So, here's our plan. We use the breakout as a diversion so that we can steal this weapon undetected. We would definitely throw a wrench in Stone's scheme. He looks at you, Cass. Hit him when it hurts.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. He looks at you, Thogak. And he kind of looks at you for a sec, and he just says, "Are you okay?
Fine.
You're sure?"
Stone will die.
Oh, yes, most definitely. Most definitely.
I agree. Now, what is it?
What?
What's the plan?
Oh, right, the plan. I don't really have one.
And I facepalm.
I'm sorry. You'll have to understand. I haven't worked this close with people in quite some time.
Now, my friend the Watcher,
Yeah.
I have this fantastic plan. You see that up there? Wait, what time is it right now, actually?
Probably just before noon.
Okay.
So like a
So I
10,
point-
30, 11, you'd imagine.
I point up at the sun.
Mhm.
You see that up there? I want to snuff that light out. Just behind those clouds, that sun right there. I want to see it gone. I don't have any plans for it, but that's what I want to do. Will you help me?
Well, don't be ridiculous.
So you want to help making a plan as well as accomplishing the plan?
Yes, I figured it best to make the plan with you, if you would have my help, so that you weren't left out of it. Plus, I don't really know where to begin. I've got everything we should need, and he's kind of like pointing to various things on the walls. He's like, I've got maps of the sewer systems, I've got a layout of the building, an old layout, but layout nonetheless. I know where the vault is. I know where they should be keeping the dock, but other than that, well, I need your help.
I'm in.
I'm in. Though I've never been much of the, how do I put this? I've never been much of the strategic type. So...
That's fine.
Ren's got his whole hand over his eyes.
So I'm just looking at Ren. What's the plan?
I'm sorry.
You'd be the one with plans.
Usually the doctor does all my planning, so...
I don't blame you.
Yes.
Oh, you know, I'm more the. I'm not the planner. I usually just I'm information gather. Alright, fine. Give me the layout of the building. Give me the sewer layouts. do you have the guard rotation times? And give me all the information you have.
That's a fair point. How many are there number?
There's a fair concentration of them at the place. I'd say no less than 50 guards at a time on shift. It is a big building, but I mean, it's helmets by oh shit, Gowan Moss. He's the general for the Corvellian complex, and usually Ed Stone is in residence. So.
And can I assume that us 5 are the entire force?
5?
Yes.
There's
You,
6.
him, me, and Slash.
Oh, right.
Oh.
There's 5 people in here. The woman's back at the tavern.
Oh, I guess counting Slash, yeah. Right?
Togak is just like recounting wood.
Yeah. Right now there's Thogak, me, Kaz, Tarathiel, and Slash in this room. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Slash. Okay. I was like, who's the 5th person? I was so confused. Yeah, okay. Yes, that's all we have, I'm afraid. But if there's a starting point, I figured you and Thogak could break the dock out of prison, and myself and Kaz could steal the weapon. I feel like we're probably better at stealth than you guys are. No offense. And he looks at you, Thogak.
You've heard me.
And I like adjust my drum, and I'm like, what do you mean, not stealthy?
But the point would be to break him out and make noise in the process. The trick would be getting away with your lives. But the more people
I was working on spells before I came to this town, and I didn't quite have them down yet. If I just learned them sooner, this would have made this a lot easier. I was right there learning that song the right way. Damn it.
Right. Now, with 50 odd men, there's no... I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure the 2 of us are quite adept at killing people, but with 50 or so odd men, that would surely be a good night's work or 2.
No doubt more. Once the attention's pulled off of the compound.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be most of them coming after me and him, and I point at Thogak, which for one of us is probably like a wet dream. And how are we going to get the dog out? I can't imagine he's much good at defending himself.
I'm sure he's got a few tricks up his sleeve.
Throw him out a window.
Don't throw him out a window. He's quite old.
Yeah, you can't decapitate him.
You...
What?
Elderly individuals, so frail.
Aren't elves old too?
We are, yes, but
Yes.
not frail.
No, not frail.
Yes, ringing
Oh,
indeed.
it's my mom. I'll be back.
Yeah, sure thing.
Should we wait?
Yeah, we can wait a second.
Yeah.
No reason not to.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, we need to have a planning session now. For the heist. I figure we could do it similar to how we did it for your campaign, Mark, because I thought that worked pretty well, actually.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So really, I mean, this session can end whenever we want it to, from now, until whenever. So any more roleplay we want to do, but basically what this is going to end up in is we need to have a planning session. That's
Josh, I would like at least a rough version of the actual layout.
I am working on it. It's not quite finished.
Okay. Also, I'm gonna bring up I do want guard rotations. If you
I figured
that
stuff. Yeah, we'd probably do some loose roleplay for that.
Okay.
Depending on where we
get
go
out the joint.
I'm Mark's gonna do his best. Please feel free to, because Rin could do it doesn't mean I'm going to be great at it.
Oh, no.
So please feel free, guys.
Of course.
I mean, the thing is, Kazara said he's not much of the planning type, but he kind of is.
It's less that he's the planning type and more that
figured.
he doesn't plan for more than himself generally, I would think, which is kind of the boat that Tarathiel is in right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of the boat Rin's in, too. Rin's like, I can usually make noise and get my way out of situations by going, oh, look, I'm just an idiot.
Well, great! We could do that.
But
We could do that. Legitimately, that could be something that happens. Because either way, it's about distractions, you know? I mean, hell, I don't know why there couldn't be a distraction for the distraction.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely backup plan. It's like, oh, they caught Rin. Rin gets super distracting, leads them further away from the other two.
Okay.
Lets them get out. Yeah, that's backup plan.
Or, I mean, you could
my
get
brain's
captured.
already going.
You, Orthogat, could actually get captured and taken. Surely you're high-value prisoners. You could probably get taken to the same place and,
Technically, all I need to do is sing to do my spells. The drums are just a focus.
It's true. Who would be more valuable? I guess we'll wait until Kelsey's back, but who would be more valuable, do you think, in... I mean, surely be you, right? Because you have magical capability.
Yeah, because if they take away his weapons and they bind him, then he turns...
I don't know if they bind him in a cage, presumably.
No, I don't think they would, but
Yeah.
like hypothetically.
Yeah.
And as long as my magic, I can, like I said, I can do it with singing. But that also means I would have to have certain components on me because the drums replace most of those.
Yeah.
So it depends. I have to plan out what spells I'd be prepping for. Oh, and that'd be okay. That spell's fucking easy. Oh, okay. A lot of these are really simple. Like the one like Phantasmal Force. All I need is a bit of fleece.
So we've entered into a loose planning session, which will probably follow up. So this is kind of the point where the session's over anytime we want it to be. Short session, like I said. And probably now we'll finish by having a loose planning session, and then we can meet maybe later in the week, before next week, and have another planning session, kind of like we did for Mark's session, the second one, when we were defending the town. To do kind of like a loose roleplay planning session. Basically the planning montage of D&D, and plan out what we're going to do. So what we have so far is we are probably going to... It might not hurt to get one of you captured and put in this place, to kind of be a man on the inside for you two who are doing the prison break.
I
Yes,
I
Thurgood,
doubt
thank you.
bars can hold me.
Okay, well, that's a good point. He's pretty strong. But
Unless your magic fixes things.
Most of my magic, even if they take my instruments, as long as I have a shirt on that's fleece, and like a bit of metal on me, I can do most of my spells.
look, I've got a few favors I could call in. I've got a few um, spies, as it were, who can maybe get you some components in jail.
Oh, well, yeah, that's even better.
So not a lot of things, nothing big.
No, all I need, literally all I need is like a chip of mica, a bit of fleece, and like a piece of iron.
Okay.
And then you can get out.
And then I can do anything I could do with a drum set.
Okay.
Right. Why do you need a shirt with fleece?
What's that?
What do you need the fleece for?
Oh, in case I
Magic
need it.
stuff.
Yeah, it's a component for a couple of spells.
You mean I can just rub my fingers together on a bit of fleece and just boom, fire?
Well, as long as you understand how to take that bit of fleece and harness the magic in the air into obeying your will. I sing mine into submission, or play music to lull it into submission for me.
Look, this magic stuff is nonsense. Let me just... I just kind of...
But
Anyway,
you
Kazara.
have magic.
We don't need magic for our part. We just need to rely on our stealth capabilities, of which I'm positive you and I are both capable.
yes.
And them pulling the guard off of us once they break out should give us a big enough window to get into the vault and secure whatever it is inside.
Right. Well... Now I have one last question for you, Watcher.
Yes.
I know you have never been much of a violent individual, but...
I'm no stranger
Well,
to
I mean,
it.
Yeah, I was about to ask. You know me. I'm a bit of a... well, suffice to say, I'm a bit of a drow. I prefer to do this thing as easily as possible, which means, killing anyone that gets in our way. But how do you prefer to go about it?
He's thinking, kind of, looking at the ground. He looks back up at you and he says, generally, I only kill a Thieves Guild member if the sole intention of joining is to do harm to others.
We can't exactly ask every single person who's got a knife to their throat.
No, but you can, tell it in their eyes. Take it from me, I was one of them. Plus, there are those who have helped me in the past. If we come across any of them, I simply couldn't let you kill them. I hope you understand.
Absolutely. Well, in which case, we'll do the thing, we'll play it by ear.
Yes, it's really the only thing we can do.
Well,
Will we be killing Ed? If we see him, he's fair game, right?
Is there anything I could do to stop you? From killing him? And he's looking at both you and Kaz. Okay.
Well, let me just lay this out there. He's a child killer, and, well, children are the future. So, that is, pretty far into the dark side.
No, I get where you're coming from. I'm more worried about attempting to kill him. He is very powerful. It
No
would
doubt,
be a fight.
no doubt that we're going to kill him at some point. But perhaps we get Dr. Clockwork to safety first? Yeah?
Oh, definitely.
And then, if the opportunity arises after that?
Look, big man. I want him dead just as much, if not much, much more than you do.
I would imagine more.
But as for now, we need to temper our temper. We can't risk too many things. If we put that piece into play, on top of everything else, we're as good as dead. I know you're as strong as about a dozen oxes simultaneously, but there's nothing you can do with thousands of men coming down to kill you. Not even their magics, their trickeries, or his music playing can get you out of that.
And let me tell you, Stone is quite the trickster. He's the one that found himself in charge of the city for a reason, so...
Right.
But, I think it's important we decide exactly what we're going to do to make such a distraction, to pull them off of our scent.
Explosions.
Explosions would do the trick.
Okay, what are we going to explode?
Them.
Facepalm, 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 facepalm.
Okay. Are we going to blow up the complex?
Well, that's for you more technical minds.
Well, it couldn't hurt. It is the base of operations in the city, apart from the old tunnels which they used to run things out of. Once the government fell, you see, they took over control using their buildings, so they moved out of the sewers, but...
You said Stone is living there?
It's more like his office.
Ah.
I don't know where he lives.
We blow up his office. Fuck him.
So it couldn't hurt.
Well, I'll definitely need those diagrams then to see where the fuck we could even do this.
How?
And how?
Really? Yeah.
I don't know about...
Just use magic.
Don't you say... You severely overestimate my abilities.
Look, when you spend as much time undercover as some of us might, you kind of... You tend to pick up on a couple of things. I'm sure we can think of something to throw together so he doesn't need to use his fancy magics on something as small as an explosion.
Yes, look what Stone was able to do with some lantern oil and a flaming arrow.
Indeed.
Yes, but these are all things we have to set up somehow.
Oh, that's true. And we're not doing it in a boarding school. We're doing it in essentially the Hornet's Nest, so...
We'll find a way. We always do. Oh, I always do anyway.
Lots and lots of smoke. Hornets don't like smoke.
That is true.
I don't like smoke.
I like smoke. Okay, speaking of, I haven't had a decent pipe since I got into the city.
Well,
I'm sure you could buy one.
Well, as we can see, I like strong women and you like strong men, so there's always those houses you can go 2, 4.
I meant tobacco! And I'm not into men. That was to get us out of trouble. I mean, I don't care. I'm not going to fight it if it happens, whatever. But still, it's not my first choice.
I've got an idea.
Tobacco?
No. This. And he holds up his hand, and it's the ring that has the symbols on it. Okay, theoretically, what if I gave this to one of you guys, right? If you managed to sneak into Stone's office, you could open a door into a room.
Magic.
Well, not really. The ring does all the work, but we could set up explosives and lantern oil somehow in a room, dock shop, this, right here, and he points to the ground. And that could be a way to get something like that into the building.
Oh. Right.
That's certainly clever.
Out of character, fuck you, okay? I already thought of it. I'm waiting for my fucking diagrams. Fuck you.
I mean, we can do some of it without the diagrams. If you want, I can just try and kind of approximate or explain things. It really just, it's kind of hard to know what you need without it is the problem, and I definitely understand
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
So, are we doing explosives then, or?
I don't think I mean, he'll know it's us if we burn down his office, so...
These are all great ideas. Here's what I want. I want you all to write down what you think we should do, right, on pieces of paper. I'll get them all together, and then when I get all the information, I'll figure out what's feasible. I'll get you all your input.
I'm going to be a fan of... I'm going to be... on the side with the big man here. Not too much of a fan of the bureaucracy that goes into these kinds of missions.
I'm not a fan of coming up with the mission, so...
He is the planner, so he says he needs us to write it, though. So...
Thogak, I will get someone to write for you.
I can write for him.
Yeah, look at how easy that was. I already did it.
Wow, that was fast.
So...
We'll leave you in charge of planning from now on.
Probably not a bad idea. Well, Son of Trinith, what do you need? Exactly, tell me. I can gather it for you.
Well, firstly, yeah, I need those diagrams of the sewer systems, the tunnels, the ones for the house. Have you watched their guard? Like did you? I never forgot it's on that. Have you watched their rotations?
Not all of it, but from what I can gather at a time. Well, it's easy if I just show you on a diagram.
Yes.
For now, he will take you to a map, because there is a map on the wall of this building, and he kind of points to a few places. There's kind of like a plaza, is the best way to put it, in the front of the building. There are kind of 2 guards at the mouth of that, 2 guards at the front door, and then a few that circle around at about, 50 to 60 feet intervals. The good news is, a lot of the guards are inside, so we really only have to worry about the ones outside, and then the ones in the paths that we end up taking to get in and out of the building, so... But I will need help surveilling the whole building at one time.
Yes, fair. Well, we'll have work to do. This isn't going to be a thing that we're doing tonight. We need to plan this.
Yes.
Well, you guys do the surveillance and information gathering. If you need me, I'll probably be eating while you're doing that.
Oh, okay.
Unless there's anything else I can do.
I can't think of anything, guys.
Not at this moment, no.
Keep your blade sharp.
Keep your mind
Always.
sharper.
Don't.
Not so always.
Yeah, as it came across my lips, I was like, it's fine.
He may not have the sharpest of minds, but it's certainly keen. We've seen him hold himself in a fight.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, no doubt about that.
Though it may not be sharp, blunt force trauma gets the job done.
Man. Fucking fist bump.
Blunt force
Oh,
trauma
thank
gets the job done. All right. Well, cool. Okay. Do we want to call it there?
Yeah, we can call it there.
Sure.
First, the main session.
You can
wise?
call it
Okay,
there.
cool. When
No,
when do we want to try and do
Or not
the
burgers.
definite planning session?
Yes.
I'm free Wednesday, Thursday, not Friday, Saturday, not Sunday.
Let's do it an hour from now.
Monday.
An hour from now? No, I definitely need a deadline.
Rose
I need a day. or
Rose
two.
would kill Josh.
Yes, she would kill me. Actually.
Perhaps that is what I'm trying for.
No. Oh, I see.
No! You should have left earlier!
You should have waited. Yeah, so we could try and do. I think Saturday maybe. That gives me enough time to get.
I'm not
Come
free
on.
then.
Well, you're stupid. You are free then, right?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, I could say Saturday. Theoretically, it really won't
I'm
take.
not free then.
That should
horribly well.
work for me. Oh,
Okay.
it doesn't work for him.
Wait, what,
Are you
Keegan?
not free then?
No, I'm free then.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Cool. We can set it earlier if you guys want, maybe at 7 or 8. It probably won't take any longer than tonight's session did.
I'll be free all day afternoon.
Okay. All day afternoon. What does that mean? Just afternoon and later?
Afternoon.
Oh, afternoon. Okay, I was taking that as one word instead of after the time of noon.
Even if it was one word, I mean,
I know.
afternoon is classified as one,
It's true.
and not so.
It's true.
And
those
evening,
times that
I
aren't
should
noon.
say that.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we'll shoot for Saturday. As of now, we'll shoot for 8. That, if that's okay
8.
with everyone. DM standard, so 9 your time.
Okay.
Let me know if we need to push it earlier or put it later. We'll see. But Saturdays, yeah, that should give me enough time, and then we can actually do the heist on Tuesday. So that'll be a lot of fun. You know, I was laughing actually. Yeah, and so the session's over. If anyone needs to go or do anything, but I was laughing because I feel like we've always, at least I have always wanted to do like a prison break or a heist at some point in D&D, and I was talking to Mom earlier, and I was like, you know what? I just realized that we're doing a prison break heist. So I'm glad to be, I guess,
Facilitating.
the first one to do both of those things at the same time. I figure that's not a bad way to split up the party. That could make it interesting. I would do them as solo sessions, or like duo sessions, I guess. But I think it's important that we all be there so that like we can do your guys's, part of your guys's part first, and then Tarathiel.
Yeah, because
yeah,
some of what.
it could affect, yeah.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
So, I'm definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, Tarathiel has found his way back into a story. Like 3 years later. So now
Yeah.
you loosely know what he's been doing in that time.
All right.
I know,
Indeed.
Bowie. It's exciting.
Being the fucking owl man.
He's an owl man. A fluffy owl man.
It doesn't look very fluffy.
Punching people with his owl hands.
Mm.
He just had to take an owl stand
Yep. Yep.
against
Now
this...
he plays in an owl band.
Now I was gonna say against this band of... or against this killer owl band. Yeah.
Stop. Get some help.
No. I do need some help. That's probably not a bad thing. Anyways, yeah, I'm in this room. Thanks for joining me on this short session to make up for last week's fucking 4.5 hour session.
No problem.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks for having us.
But of course.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, my God.
Yet.